Hi everyone, welcome back. You know, life is full of many questions. Where did we come from? Where are we going? Why would anyone need a private nightclub in their house? So one of the things that I like to do from time to time when I'm really bored is go on housing and real estate websites and sort the house price from high to low, and then look at all the crazy mansions that they have for sale. Which, by the way, sort of strikes me as an odd feature to have on a housing website. Are there really people out there that go out to buy a house and say, you know what, give me the most expensive house on the market, and just don't look at what the house is? Anyway, if you do this in a well-known rich people area, like for example Beverly Hills, you get a ton of multi-million-dollar mansions that are just ridiculous. Either just excessive or, more often than not, really ugly. And yeah, I know a lot of people, including Drew Gooden, have already made videos about all the weird houses and also other ridiculous stuff that rich people buy. But I am not Drew Gooden. I'm not. I swear. Look, road work ahead. Yeah, I sure hope it does. See, I sound nothing like it. But these crazy houses are something I've wanted to talk about for quite a long time, actually. So today I thought we'd take a look at some of my favourite mega mansions. Just before we get into the rest of the video, if you're not already subscribed, please consider it. It really does mean a lot to me. Alright, back to the video. So looking through these websites, I found this $85 million home in Beverly Hills. It's got 12 bedrooms and 24 bathrooms. You know, in case somebody's using one. This is one of those things where the number of bedrooms is basically just a status symbol, because realistically, how many people are actually going to be living in that house? Like 2? Maybe 3 or 4 if they have kids? Better get 12 bedrooms just in case. This house seems to have no walls either, and I know it doesn't rain that often in LA, but it might once. But by far, my favourite part of this house is the home gym with its indoor tennis court. Loads of these houses do have tennis courts, but they're usually outside because that would, you know, make sense. But it's not just an indoor tennis court in someone's house, it's an indoor tennis court in someone's house with a viewing gallery. Hey, would you like to come over and play tennis in my house? Oh, what's that? You're too tired? Oh, that's fine. You can just come and watch me play tennis in the viewing gallery in my house. What I find really funny is that this doubles as a basketball court too, because it seems that they couldn't afford to build a separate one in their $85 million mansion. I mean, come on guys, let's be realistic here. Those things are expensive. Also, the tennis court has this fancy lighting fixture above it that is definitely not going to get smashed the first time someone uses it. Although I kind of get the feeling that this tennis court wasn't actually made to be used. Here's a $25 million house with a home gym and a tennis court, and a squash court, and a stable, and a batting cage, and a dentist's office, apparently. So on closer inspection, I think the dentist's office might actually be a massage room. The light threw me off. Slightly more interesting than looking at pictures though, is this whole subgenre of YouTube videos dedicated to giving tours of these mega mansions. And it seems that I'm not the only one that's interested in looking at this stuff, because these videos get millions of views. So let's have a look at some of them. First off, we have this $65 million mansion in Los Angeles.
And as soon as you walk in, you're hit head on with the incredible views of Los Angeles.
Yeah, wow, I can just about make it out through that thick layer of smog. Whenever a house is described as ultra modern, I always feel like it just means that everything looks like it belongs on an alien spaceship. Everything's gonna be super boxy. You're gonna have your 3 main colors, black, white, and gray, and there's gonna be windows everywhere, including in the bathroom.
And this bathroom, or this side of the bathroom, is just as impressive. Same marble floors, and they carried out the same marble on the walls as well.
I don't understand why you need such giant windows right next to your bathtub. And I can't see any curtains or anything, so other people in the house could just walk past, like, oh hey, I see you're using the bath there. Cool.
Now, this may not be the biggest office we've ever toured on this channel, but it's a type of office that I would personally like because it's kind of detached and it's kind of secluded from the rest of the house.
So I guess nobody wanted to actually hang those picture frames up on the wall, so they're just propped up there. And what's up with this horse statue as well? He's just sitting there, vibing. On the topic of strange and really ugly decorations people have in their houses, I feel like a lot of people with this much money end up not caring as much about what an object looks like and more about just what it costs to buy. As you'll see in this horrifically decorated $188 million mansion.
This is black quartz crystal. It was in the Antonini family for 4 generations. is probably the most expensive vanity you'll ever see in your life. This was 250,000 euros.
Crazy.
And then we carved it out and put it on a diamond bronze setting. So you're looking at like a $300,000 vanity.
Oh yeah, that's a cool sink. But I think there's some hair clogged in it.
Went into the store and said to the manager, you know, I want to buy this camera. And the guy said, you know, every camera in the store is for sale, but not this one. And Bruce would say, everything's for sale. So after like a half hour of negotiation, not only with the manager, but the CEO of Leica, Bruce had a flatbed waiting outside Leica in Beverly Hills. They had to take the storefront off of Leica because this was put in before they put the storefront on the store. Brought it here by flatbed and then took it by crane and brought it through the skylight and it landed right here on the main level.
Okay, but like, why? Alongside ultra modern, there's another pretty common style that a lot of these LA mansions seem to go for, which is kind of like faux European palace. I think somewhere along the way, one of these LA billionaires saw a European palace or a country estate and thought, oh cool, I want one of those. And then proceeded to make the worst knockoff you've ever seen, which is strange considering they've spent so much money on them anyway, but can't even come close to what the original looks like. Like this $195 million mansion that looks like it's basically just made out of blank concrete, with these miniaturized gardens, because despite costing this much, this is still Los Angeles and they have no space. What it does have, however, is a network of tunnels, because at least when the revolution comes, they'll have somewhere to hide. I guess it really is the European experience. My favorite guy in this video is the guy driving the golf cart, because he just looks so fed up with all of these estate agents that come and poke around the house. He just wants to go home, but instead he has to drive you around while you gawk at the koi pond. Whenever I see any of these houses, I can't help but shake the feeling that they look very unwelcoming. The houses are almost too clean, like no one's ever really lived in them. And I feel like to some extent living in one of these houses would feel a bit like living in a really expensive IKEA showroom. DJ Zed, who is a record producer, I think, has a video showing off his house with this literally gigantic door that he definitely didn't have to stop from moving there.
This entire house was actually built around this tree. Unfortunately, it is dying.
Yes, it's dying because you built a house around it. You monster. So that was a house that someone actually lives in. I know, crazy, right? Considering most of these houses seem to be perpetually on the market with nobody actually able to afford them. In fact, it does sort of seem like a lot of these houses get built super quick for a lot of money, and then nobody ends up buying them. And the most interesting one of all is a house called The One. The One is a Bel Air giga mansion. It's dubbed the most expensive house in the world, and while it is the largest modern house in North America, most expensive house in the world is only really a title that counts when somebody actually buys the thing. The One is a crazy, gargantuan, 105,000 square foot house built by Niall Niami, or Niami, I actually don't know how you pronounce his last name. The house has a running track, a bowling alley, a movie theatre, a golf simulator, a spa, 7 pools. I think there's like a bedroom and a kitchen and a bathroom there somewhere. Both of the guys in this video are wearing sunglasses throughout its entirety, and I can only assume that they're doing that because the house is so full of white things that it will blind them otherwise. This place is so massive that even Niall ends up getting lost during the video. And also when the guy's making the video asking basic questions about the house, he can't answer them.
This is also very difficult, these free flowing stairs that are basically in the air.
How many staircases are there in the house, do you know?
There's, I think, 3, like 6, I don't know.
The most excessive part of the house by far, beyond of course the private pool in your bedroom or the office with the balcony, is the private nightclub, with capacity for nearly 2,000 people and the most worrying bathrooms I've ever seen.
So this is the her side, this is the toilets, and this is the sinks. And
so where are the doors to those toilets?
these are the urinals, and I'm gonna have cameras here looking at the guys.
You're gonna have cameras?
Cameras looking at the guys putting the image in the girls' bathroom.
So this man is clearly insane, and here's the best part about The One. And when I found out about this is how I knew I had to talk about this house. So The One was first put up on the market for $500 million. And nobody bought it, which was a bit of a problem because Niall may or may not have taken out an $82.5 million loan to pay for it, and then subsequently defaulted on that loan. And to make matters worse, Niall also owed money to another lender, and so in total he had amassed $165 million worth of debt on this house. I can't imagine having $165 million worth of anything, let alone debt. After that, there were plans to auction the house for around $250 million, half the original asking price. But just before the auction was about to go ahead, Niall stopped it by filing for bankruptcy. The latest news as of a few days ago is that the house is set to go on auction once again in February. But Niall is trying to stop that by saying he's going to create a cryptocurrency backed by the house so people can digitally own parts of the one. So that sounds totally normal. I think the thing with these utterly insane mansions is a lot of them aren't really intended to be lived in. They're just sort of spaces for hosting fancy parties with all of your billionaire friends before you go off to some other property that you own. I also can't shake the feeling that none of these mansions are built to last. I kind of get the impression that they're designed with the intention that the owner's just going to get bored of them in a few years and buy another mansion somewhere else, so they don't really need to have any sort of longevity built into them. It seems really wasteful, and it also just is a bit gross to see the extravagance of these places. LA in particular is a place that I feel has some of the most clearly visible, rampant inequality in the Western world. And seeing all these places in Beverly Hills that are completely empty, while just a few miles down the road there are people who don't even have a home in the first place, makes me really uncomfortable. That aside, at least we can still make fun of these crazy, crazy people. Thanks for watching my video. I hope that you've enjoyed watching it as much as I've enjoyed making it. Maybe leave me a comment down below about what you think of some of these crazy houses. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, it really does mean a lot to me. But apart from that, if there's something else you'd like me to cover in the future, please let me know. And as always, I'll see you next time.